Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Friday, October 31st, Mitch Bacall debuts, helping Harrison, Sharon's danger. Holden Novak's observation. Over in Los Angeles, Claire will still be hanging out with Holden as a friend. The blonde will also likely get regular updates on Noah Newman's, Lucas Adams, condition. Even though Claire never met Noah, she was greatly affected by his coma. Back to Holden, he will see a new side to Claire. Maybe she ends up making some seductive moves towards Holden on Halloween. Holden Novak's observation. In the quiet tension that often fills Genoa City, Holden Novak's sudden and sharp observation may have just shifted the entire balance of power. It was subtle at first, the way his eyes caught something others dismissed, a fleeting exchange, a whisper behind the closed doors of Newman Enterprises, but what he saw, or more importantly, what he deduced, could change everything. Holden Novak isn't just another face passing through the corridors of corporate ambition. He's an observer, a thinker, a man whose instincts have kept him alive in a world where loyalty is paper-thin and alliances are bought with secrets. And now, with one observation, he's about to stir a storm that might engulf everyone from the Newmans to the Abbotts. Holden has always been methodical. Every step he takes is deliberate, every glance purposeful. When he walked into Crimson Lights that afternoon, he wasn't there for coffee. He was there because he knew something was off. He'd seen a pattern forming, documents exchanged between departments that didn't add up, hushed phone calls from Victor's office that didn't align with official statements, and a name, Phyllis Summers, appearing in places it shouldn't. To the casual eye, it was all coincidence. To Holden, it was the outline of a "please subscribe and like the video before continuing" conspiracy. Phyllis has always been unpredictable, but lately, her movements have caught Holden's attention. She's been too quiet, too strategic. And now, Holden's observation has tied her to something bigger. A digital trail leading to Jabot's proprietary AI research files that Phyllis allegedly had no access to, points to a secret transfer. But here's the twist, Holden isn't sure if Phyllis is the mastermind or the scapegoat. The clues are layered, messy, and dangerous. Holden's not working for Victor or Jack, but somehow, he's found himself in the middle of their silent war. When Holden confronted Nate Hastings at Society, he didn't mince words. "You know what I saw," he said calmly. Nate denied everything, but the flicker in his eyes gave Holden all he needed to know. Someone inside Newman Media had been feeding information to an outside player. The observation was simple, a time-stamped email chain between Nate and an untraceable account connected to someone named E. Brooks. Could it be connected to Elena, or perhaps someone using her name as cover? Holden wasn't sure yet, but his instincts screamed that this went far beyond one transaction. Meanwhile, in Chancellor Winters, word started spreading that someone was digging into company archives. Devin Hamilton wasn't pleased when he heard Holden's name come up. "He's dangerous," Devin warned Lily. "He sees too much." And he was right. Holden's latest observation wasn't just about a file, it was about motive. Why were so many powerful players suddenly interested in AI-driven data analysis, and what did it have to do with Victor's latest moves against Jabot? When Holden visited Victor's office under the pretense of consulting on cybersecurity, he noticed something peculiar. A hidden drive attached to Victor's main terminal. It was encrypted beyond recognition, but the access logs showed activity from Phyllis's old IP address. That was the moment Holden realized he was sitting on a powder keg. Either Victor was setting Phyllis up, or Phyllis was already one step ahead of him. Holden couldn't decide which option was more dangerous. The more he dug, the clearer it became that the battle lines in Genoa City "please subscribe and like the video before continuing" were shifting again. Jack Abbott had recently made a surprising alliance with someone in Newman Enterprises, a deal Holden stumbled upon by sheer accident. He overheard Diane on a call, her tone tense but composed, saying, "It's done." Holden doesn't suspect a thing. But Holden did suspect something. He always did. His observation wasn't just about technology or data breaches, it was about psychology. He noticed who avoided eye contact, who fidgeted when certain names were mentioned, who suddenly changed routines. When Summer Newman began spending late nights at the Jabot lab, Holden quietly followed her trail. What he saw left him speechless. She wasn't alone. Someone else was there, someone thought long gone from Genoa City. The return of Kyle Abbott. He had been working in secret, apparently trying to repair something far more broken than a corporate partnership, his relationship with Summer. Holden's observation of that private meeting gave him leverage he didn't even realize he had. But what Holden didn't know was that someone was watching him, too. As he pieced together his puzzle, Tucker McCall was quietly monitoring his movements. Tucker admired Holden's intelligence but feared his curiosity. "He's going to expose everything," Tucker told Audra Charles. "If he connects the dots between Victor's AI project and my acquisition plans, the whole operation falls apart." But Holden wasn't doing this for fame or fortune. He was chasing the truth. Somewhere deep down, Holden believed that Genoa City deserved transparency, even if it came at a cost. The cost, however, was higher than he anticipated. One night, as Holden reviewed his notes in the dimly lit back office of Society, he noticed a message pop up on his encrypted laptop: "Stop digging. Or else." It wasn't signed. It didn't need to be. Whoever sent it had access to his private system, meaning someone from the inside had turned against him. Still, Holden couldn't let go. His observation had already email trail, and Diane's cryptic phone call. It all pointed to one hidden project, a covert "Please subscribe and like the video before continuing" alliance between Newman Enterprises, McCall Unlimited, and a foreign tech entity. Their goal: to corner the global AI security market. But in doing so, they may have broken several international laws. Holden's observation wasn't just a discovery, it was a ticking time bomb. The moment he decided to take his findings to Christine Williams, everything changed. Christine warned him that by stepping forward, he was putting himself on every corporate radar in Genoa City. But Holden didn't flinch. "The truth doesn't scare me," he said. "What scares me is silence." Soon after, Holden's name disappeared from the company database. His phone stopped working, his accounts froze, and his car vanished. But whispers spread that he'd gone underground, still watching, still recording, still one step ahead. Genoa City had underestimated him once. They wouldn't make that mistake again. For Holden Novak, observation was never passive, it was power. And now, as new alliances form and old ones crumble, his unseen eyes might just decide the future of everyone in town. Sharon Newman's dangerous search. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, October 31st reveal that Sharon will go on a desperate search for answers regarding Noah's accident. However, it will lead her down a path of danger. If Sharon gets too close to the truth, then she could become a target herself. Sharon Newman's dangerous search in the heart of Genoa City, where secrets lie just beneath the surface of every smiling face. Sharon Newman is embarking on a journey that could change everything. What started as a simple quest for answers has now evolved into a dangerous search, one that could expose hidden truths, destroy reputations, and put her directly in harm's way. Sharon's intuition has always been her greatest strength, but this time, it might also be. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Her undoing. It began quietly enough, a feeling she couldn't shake. Ever since a mysterious stranger appeared in town claiming to have information about a long-buried Newman family secret, Sharon has been restless. The stranger's words haunted her, whispers of deception, a cover-up, and someone close to her who may have lied for years. Sharon couldn't ignore it. She's faced heartbreak, loss, and even death before, but this was different. This was personal. Determined to uncover the truth, Sharon began retracing her past, digging into files she hadn't touched in years. But as she unearthed pieces of the puzzle, she began to realize the scope of what she was dealing with. Her dangerous search wasn't just about the Newmans, it was about a conspiracy that could reach every corner of Genoa City. The first clue came from Crimson Lights itself. One morning, as Sharon opened the cafe, she found an envelope slipped beneath the door. Inside was a single photograph, a picture of her from 20 years ago, standing outside a cabin she barely remembered visiting. On the back, scrawled in uneven handwriting, were the words, "It didn't end there." At first, Sharon thought it was some cruel prank. But as she looked closer, her heart froze. In the corner of the photo was a familiar silhouette, a man who looked shockingly like Cameron Kirsten. It couldn't be. Cameron was gone, his dark reign of terror over, or so she thought. But what if someone was using his memory to torment her again? What if his death hadn't been the end of his story? Fear and curiosity warred inside her as she began to investigate. She confided only in Nick, who urged her to stay cautious. "Don't do this alone, Sharon," he warned. "You don't know what you're walking into." But Sharon's instincts told her otherwise. She needed to follow the trail herself. Every clue, every whisper, drew her deeper into the shadows. As the days passed, Sharon's search grew more dangerous. Someone didn't want her to find the truth. She noticed cars following her, strange figures outside her home, and anonymous calls that ended the second she answered. She started to wonder if the threat came from within Genoa City itself. Her investigation led her to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place that hadn't been used in decades. Inside, she found evidence that someone had been there recently, footprints in the dust, a half-burned file, and a flash drive hidden beneath a loose floorboard. When she played the files on her computer later that night, her blood ran cold. They were surveillance videos, clips of people she knew. Victor, Nick, Victoria, even Adam. All recorded without their knowledge. And in one of the clips, Sharon saw herself. It was dated only 2 weeks prior. Someone had been watching her. Sharon realized she was being hunted, but she couldn't stop now. The deeper she went, the more twisted the mystery became. It wasn't just about surveillance, it was about control. Someone was collecting information, manipulating events from the shadows. And one name kept appearing over and over in the metadata, M. Bacall. Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth's new mysterious character, had quietly arrived in Genoa City just weeks earlier, claiming to be a cybersecurity consultant. But Holden Novak had already warned that Mitch's background didn't add up. Now Sharon saw why. The flash drive contained coded messages that only someone with deep insider access could have planted. Sharon's search for truth had crossed paths with a far bigger scheme involving the Newmans, the Abbotts, and powerful outsiders. As she dug into Mitch Bacall's background, she learned he'd once worked for an international intelligence group known for corporate espionage. But what was he doing in Genoa City? And why was Sharon's name embedded in his encrypted data? Sharon's mind raced. Was Mitch the one behind the threats? Or was he trying to protect her from something darker? She confronted him one night at Society, her voice trembling but firm. "I know you've been watching me," she said. Mitch didn't deny it. "You were never supposed to find out," he admitted. "But if you keep going, you'll end up like the others who got too close." The others. Sharon's heart sank. That meant more people were involved, their tracks with precision. And somehow, she had become the key to exposing it. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Later, Sharon received a call from Chance Chancellor, who'd been investigating a string of unsolved cybercrimes tied to Newman Enterprises. He told her that her name had come up in an encrypted email exchange between Victor's private server and an external contact, someone posing as S. Newman. But Sharon never sent any such message. Someone was impersonating her to access restricted Newman financial data. "They're framing you," Chance told her. "And they're good." The revelation shook Sharon to her core. The woman who had fought so hard to rebuild her life after trauma was now being dragged back into chaos. Determined to clear her name, she teamed up with Chance and began decoding the data. What they uncovered stunned them both: a secret shell company funneling funds from Newman Enterprises to a private overseas account. And the name attached to that account? Cameron Kirsten Holdings. The past had come full circle. Sharon's dangerous search had unearthed proof that someone was using Cameron's identity as a front for laundering money and manipulating corporate power. The danger wasn't supernatural, it was calculated, modern, and ruthless. As Sharon and Chance dug deeper, their investigation led them to the Newman Ranch, where Victor was already one step ahead. He revealed that he'd been aware of the suspicious transactions but had chosen to keep silent until he could identify the source. "You're playing with fire, Sharon," Victor warned. "Some enemies don't come from outside, they come from within." Sharon couldn't stop now. Every instinct told her she was close. Late one night, she followed a lead that brought her back to the cabin from the photograph, the same one from 20 years ago. Inside, she found files linking several key figures: Tucker McCall, Audra Charles, and Mitch Bacall. They had been working together under an undisclosed project titled Phoenix Protocol. Its objective was clear: to take control of both Newman Enterprises and Jabot using AI-generated data manipulation. Sharon finally understood why she had become a target. She had unknowingly stumbled upon their test subjects, financial records, employee profiles. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. And even psychological data extracted from online platforms. They were building a system capable of predicting and influencing corporate and emotional decisions, a digital puppet master. But before Sharon could alert the authorities, someone set the cabin on fire. Trapped inside with smoke filling her lungs, she barely managed to escape through a broken window. As she collapsed outside, she saw a black SUV speeding away into the night. She caught only a glimpse of the driver's face, and it wasn't Mitch's. It was someone she trusted. The next morning, when Nick found her shaken but alive, she could barely speak. "It's not over," she whispered. "They're still watching. The danger still lingers in Genoa City." Sharon's search has uncovered pieces of a truth so explosive it could topple dynasties. But she's not done yet. She's more determined than ever to finish what she started, no matter the cost. Because for Sharon Newman, this dangerous search isn't just about survival, it's about redemption, justice, and proving that no secret, no matter how deeply buried, can stay hidden forever. Mitch Bacall debuts. Speaking of Sharon, her search happens at the same time as Mitch Bacall's debut. The man is married to Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, but it is teased the couple is up to no good. Now, how does this tie in with Noah, and why would they want him dead? What is this? With Kyle pushing Sienna for intel about Holden and Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, this could put Harrison's father in grave danger. Kyle is back in Genoa City right now, but this LA business is far from over, so stay tuned. Mitch Bacall debuts. A mysterious new face has arrived in Genoa City, and his presence is already sending shockwaves through The Young and the Restless. Mitch Bacall, portrayed by the talented Roger Howarth, has officially made his debut, and it's clear that this isn't just another guest appearance. The moment he stepped into town, something shifted. Conversations hushed, eyes followed, and even the most powerful figures of Genoa City seemed uneasy. Who is Mitch Bacall, and what does his sudden arrival mean for the Newmans, the Abbotts, and everyone caught in between? From his very first scene, Mitch carried an energy that commanded attention. Confident yet enigmatic, his charm was disarming, his tone calm but calculated. He introduced himself as a consultant specializing in corporate intelligence and cybersecurity, two words that immediately raised suspicion, especially in a town where secrets are the real currency. Sharon Newman was the first to cross paths with him. Their meeting at Crimson Light seemed innocent at first, just a friendly exchange over coffee, but the way Mitch looked at her hinted that he knew more than he was letting on. Sharon felt it too, that strange flicker of familiarity, though she couldn't place where she might have seen him before. It was as if Mitch had studied her, her life, and every move she'd ever made. His questions weren't casual. They were probing. "Do you believe people can ever truly change?" he asked her, his eyes never leaving hers. It was a chilling question, especially coming from a stranger whose motives were unclear. As days passed, Mitch began appearing in unexpected places. He visited Newman Enterprises under the guise of reviewing security systems but lingered too long near Victor's office. He stopped by Jabot supposedly to deliver a report but seemed more interested in the family dynamics than the data itself. And when he walked into society one evening and exchanged a few loaded words with Tucker McCall, it became clear that Mitch McCall wasn't just passing through, he was already embedded in the fabric of Genoa City's most dangerous web. Rumors started flying fast. Was Mitch connected to Tucker's corporate espionage schemes? Or was he working undercover for Victor, sent to uncover Jabot's vulnerabilities? The intrigue deepened when Holden Novak, another sharp observer, mentioned noticing discrepancies in corporate data trails, patterns that seemed to appear only after "Please subscribe and like the video before continuing." Mitch's arrival. Whatever Mitch was doing, it wasn't by accident. Roger Howarth's portrayal of Mitch Bacall has electrified fans. Known for bringing complexity to every character he plays, Howarth has crafted Mitch as a man whose past feels heavy with secrets. There's a tension in his calmness, a flicker of something haunted behind his confident smile. Every word feels deliberate, every glance loaded with implication. Even without revealing his backstory, Mitch exudes the sense that he's seen and done things far darker than anyone realizes. Behind the scenes, speculation runs wild about his true identity. Some fans believe Mitch could be linked to one of Genoa City's former villains, perhaps even the long-lost relative of a powerful family. Others think he's a whistleblower, arriving to expose corruption within Newman Enterprises or Chancellor Winters. Whatever the case, his first few interactions have been nothing short of explosive. During a tense encounter with Adam Newman, Mitch dropped a line that immediately set off alarm bells. "You and I aren't so different, we both understand the cost of redemption." Adam's reaction was telling. He froze, the familiar look of someone being subtly threatened or reminded of something from his past. Later, Mitch was seen meeting with Phyllis Summers at the Grand Phoenix. Their conversation appeared cordial, but Phyllis's sharp eyes betrayed curiosity, and perhaps even fear. "You know," she told him, "around here, people who show up unannounced tend to have an agenda." Mitch simply smiled. "Everyone has an agenda, Ms. Summers. The trick is pretending you don't." That line echoed through the halls of Genoa City like a warning. Within days, Mitch Bacall became the talk of the town. Even Jack Abbott, normally unbothered by outsiders, took notice. When Diane mentioned that Mitch had inquired about Jabot's research into AI-driven product analytics, Jack immediately grew wary. "No one just wanders into that kind of data by coincidence," he said. And he was right. Mitch seemed to know too much about Jabot's projects, Newman's internal shifts, and even details about Devon's new ventures at Chancellor Winters. But how? That's where things get interesting. Holden Novak discovered a clue that darkness, a strategic mind capable of outthinking anyone. During a private moment, he was "Please subscribe and like the video before continuing." Seen alone in his hotel room, looking at a photograph of a woman and child, their faces half burned away. He whispered, "I'm almost there," before locking the photo away. That haunting moment suggests that Mitch's motives might not be entirely professional. Perhaps his arrival in Genoa City is personal, revenge cloaked as business. There's a growing theory that Mitch's family was destroyed years ago in one of Newman or McCall's past cover-ups, and he's come back to collect debts in silence. As Genoa City's power players continue to underestimate him, Mitch is already weaving connections. He's befriended Chancellor under the pretense of comparing investigative strategies. He's earned Sally Spectra's trust by offering to help her secure her business files. And most dangerously of all, he's formed a quiet alliance with Tucker McCall. Their partnership could be volatile enough to ignite a corporate war. Tucker's reckless ambition and Mitch's surgical precision make for a deadly combination. "You want chaos," Mitch told Tucker during one scene. "I want balance. But sometimes, to create balance, you need chaos first." Those words perfectly capture the dangerous balance of intellect and ruthlessness that defines Mitch Bacall. The longer he stays in Genoa City, the more entangled he becomes in everyone's lives. For now, no one knows exactly what he's after: power, redemption, or revenge, but every move he makes suggests he's playing a long game. One where trust is the weapon and information is the prize. As Roger Howarth's Mitch Bacall continues to make waves, one thing is certain: his debut marks a turning point. He's not just another visitor, he's a catalyst. The Newmans, the Abbotts, and everyone else may soon find that the newcomer they underestimated is the one holding all the strings. Mitch Bacall has arrived in Genoa City, and with him comes a storm that no one will see coming until it's far too late. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing.